So it's the Labour Party conference in Liverpool this weekend. So we're asking, what do they have to do to win back seats in our region? Here's Briohny Williams.
Between 1997 and 2010, Labour held a minimum of 8 seats across the South East. But in the 2010 election, that was pretty much wiped out. And now they hold just 3 seats in East Sussex and Kent. But in the 2017 election, their vote share increased by 10%. So where is that vote coming from?
So most people that are switching between the political parties at the moment are switching along age lines and along Brexit lines. So if you're a younger Remain voter, you're moving towards Labour. If you're an older Leave voter, you're moving towards the Conservatives on average. So if you've got an area that contains more of the first group, you're going to see that area trending towards Labour, and if you've got more of the older group, you're going to see that area trending towards the Conservatives. Now in the South East is a very diverse region. It has areas that contain lots of different types of people, coastal towns, for example, that will contain lots of older Leave voters, but also these commuter towns. These are the key ones where we're seeing big gains for Labour, because they contain lots of younger Remain voters who are switching their support towards the Labour Party.
One area where the number of younger voters played a key role in the 2017 election was in Canterbury. Labour won the seats for the first time since the constituency was formed in 1918. So how have the Conservatives reacted?
I think last year was a shock for us, and what we've done since then is really tried to change the way we've thought about the seat, from a safe seat to what's now a marginal fight. And what we've done over the past 6 months especially is really tried to rebuild the association. So we've doubled the membership, we've tripled the number of activists, and we're kind of focused on the local election next year as a launchpad for what happens in the parliamentary after that.
But many of the seats which Labour lost and need to win back pose a rather different challenge. In South Thanet, the average weekly wage is around £480. That's lower than the British average and nearly £100 lower than the average across the South East. And 4.5% of the population here are claiming out-of-work benefits. Rebecca Gordon-Nesbitt is the recently elected Labour parliamentary candidate here. So what does she think she can do to win over voters like these?
We've now had 8 years of austerity, and so people are really beginning to see the effects of that. People were telling us about the impact of austerity on their housing and on their jobs. So it's a big issue that affects a lot of people, and there are many, many disenfranchised people, I would say, very disgruntled with the government. And in fact, in this area, I think the Conservatives might have a harder time justifying themselves at the next election than the Labour would.
And of course, one of the biggest political dividing lines is Brexit. People in the South East voted strongly in favour of leaving the European Union. Ex-Labour constituencies like those in Medway are even more pro-Leave than the rest of the region. Local councillor Vince Maple is a founder of the English Labour Network, which looks at the changing way we view our identity.
I absolutely recognise that certainly for a period of time, both main political parties were losing voters to UKIP for a whole variety of reasons. And I think part of the challenge for us in the Labour Party is to say, actually, if you value some of the things which people certainly raise on the doorstep who perhaps have said they voted UKIP in the past, so whether it is about those local services being provided effectively, whether it's about ensuring that you've got those decent levels of infrastructure in place which have been sadly missing over the last few years, that actually it's only a Labour government that can deliver that. Look, I want Jeremy Corbyn to be our next Prime Minister. One of the ways I think that will help that is through people like the English Labour Network and others having those conversations about, so what does life look like post the 29th of March?
And it's that Brexit conversation that will be high on the agenda at Labour Party conference.